What's going on, guys? Back for another episode of Barbells and Banter. Today, we actually didn't banter for too long because Ben wanted to get straight into it. But we talked about, Ben had a little bit of an operation over the week, so we recapped, what that was and what his training is going to look like over the next month because he's out of action from what the doctors say. I gave you guys a bit of a training update on what's going on with me, and then we fielded some questions. We talked about the benefit of having a personalized program and how that actually does get better results than something that is a little bit somewhat generic. So we unpacked that, mental performance, arousal, what it takes to be the best. And then we just, steamrolled on a few other questions, talking about refeeds and effectiveness and some considerations for that. So dive into it. As always, the last 15 minutes is usually the best once we get going. But the whole episode itself is pretty good. Keep the questions coming. Let us know what you want to talk about. Get yourself a copy of the Winter Gain, which is out right now on the website. Everything you need to get huge this winter into spring so we can get shredded for summer. Outside of that, hit the sub and the follow button, and then let's get into the episode. You should see the spreadsheet that I made. So Reese sends me this spreadsheet. He's like, I made a spreadsheet. I need you to see it. And I'm like, sweet, bro. Like, love it.
Yeah.
And shows me his spreadsheet. And it's like how his mind works.
Yeah.
Setting out the same method as how we coach people for contest prep. So it was good. It's great. And then I'm like, can I have this? And he was like, yeah, just play around with it. So then I was like, all right, this doesn't work for me. This doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. And then the rest of the stuff was really good. And there was like one bit that I just didn't have in there.
Yeah.
So he just did all the formulas for me. I was like, fuck yeah. And then I put all the calculators and dashboards at the top.
Yeah.
So I literally have the ability to calculate someone's, timeline for their deficit.
Mm-hmm.
I can set their maintenance, deficit, and surplus calories straight up the top. And then also on the other side, have the supplementation part of it.
Yeah.
And the same thing, just like body weight, how much,
Yeah.
split across where it's going.
Yeah.
And then it's just all there. And then as you enter the body weight and you select the energy availability, it basically just calculates based on their hypothetical maintenance, because as their body weight goes up to maintain their body weight. So the surplus will change, and so with the deficit.
Yeah.
So it gives me a variance. And so if I want to keep the same variance from week 1 to week whatever, I can manipulate their calories to make sure that variance stays the same.
Fuck, that's sick.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, send this to me. And I'm like, I'm so busy, I don't know when I'll get to it.
Yeah.
And then after dinner one night, I just sat on the computer and then just Steph was on the phone.
Limitless.
I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah. That's sick.
Yeah, it was good as. So yeah, but it's I have that, and then, but it's more manual for me, I guess, because we still use the app.
Yeah.
But I'll just put all
Pull the data.
the start of the week, end of the week date. Yeah, I just do it.
Yeah.
Because it helps with my decision making.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why my prep clients take far longer than, it's because I put all the data in and then I look at the trends from left to right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Sick.
It looks good.
See if it works
makes sense.
in practice.
It makes sense to me so far. So yeah.
Oh, first sip of coffee for the day.
Oh, the first
Very
one.
good.
Yeah, I already had a coffee because I got up to walk Mav like that. Fuck, man. I know I say this every week. He is so hard when you don't walk him in the morning.
Yeah.
He is a monster, dude.
Yeah.
What was it, yesterday? Yeah, so yesterday the cleaners come. And they wanted to come at 10 and they normally come at 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, sweet, because then I can go to the gym and get home by the time they come. And then I'll walk him while they're cleaning the house.
Yep.
He just wasn't fucking having it, dude. So I went to the gym, got home, and I'm working. And as they come in, I was in the middle of shit. So I'm I'm not going to walk him straight away.
Yeah.
And the side of the house has opened up now because Cleo was the one that used to dig under the fence and shit. So he's worked out that that's where my office is. So he's up on the windowsill, climbing up the window. Dad, what are we doing? Let's go. Just banging it. He's sitting in it. He's doing circles. He was sooking. I'm like, fuck, man. I wish I could speak dog and be
bro,
in half an hour, you're going to go. So yeah. So
imagine that's the best half an hour of your day and someone else has control of it though.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like
get
I
it.
always used to think about that. Like I'd feel bad not taking Indy or whatever.
Yeah.
And be like, man, this is just like the best.
Yeah,
This is the best thing that's going to happen for you all day. And I'm just like, we'll go when I'm ready.
When I feel like it. And it
That's the
suits my day.
worst.
Yeah, so I had an extreme amount of guilt today, so I got up early. And it kind of suits, like, because if I get up early and get it in, it means I can get more output in over the day if I feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm in that, obviously, 90, I'm 90.6 today.
Us.
I don't remember being 90 anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting getting into the 80s.
How do you feel?
Small.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
I'm tired, hungry, forgetful, small, and weak.
Yeah. Bodybuilding.
And I don't look that good to
It's
care,
not warranted.
to care about it's just not worth it yet.
Yeah.
But I'm like, just another
4
month,
weeks.
another
4
month.
weeks.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very hard spot to be.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, it's fucking funny. Anyway, yeah, but I get this story. So talking about Mav. So you know how we have the bird problem, yeah? Well, it's not a problem, but you know how birds come in my house? They literally walk in the fucking door, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm in the shower, and I hear Steph. I think I hear screaming. And I'm like, stop it, this, that, whatever. So I listen to music in the shower, so I just put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, shower away, fucking having a rave and stuff. And my phone rings, and it's Steph. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I'm thinking like Mav's trying to attack her or some shit. So I answer the phone. She's like, you need to come downstairs right now. And I'm like, well, I'm in the shower. So I said, I'm in the shower.
Yeah.
What's going on? She's like, there's a bird inside. And I'm like, just get it out. And she's like, I can't. And she's like, and Mav's trying to kill it. So I come downstairs, and this bird has like literally shat everywhere. Like on the bench, on the table. We have those, have you seen our dining chairs? They have this like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's called anymore. Some fucking fabric. So
A fabric that you don't want shit on.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's not even. It's,
Yeah.
it's got a lot of weaves in it.
Very textured.
Exactly. So the shitting on that, bro, it shat. You know, like a window. You know how the window's like on the wall? It shat on the window, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you do
Through
that
it.
with the velocity? Like, yeah, and it was so it must have flown past with velocity and shat at the same time so that it hit the window. So I come down, right? I'm dripping wet. I'm in my jocks. Like, what the fuck is happening here? And Steph's like, I can't get the bird out. There was 3 and now there's 1.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I look at Mav and he's like,
Let me get it.
Can I kill it? And Steph's like, oh, he had it in his mouth for a little bit, and then he stopped, and then he was pushing it, and she's like, I think he's heard it.
Yeah.
And this bird, I walk up to this bird, it's just given up, like it's done.
It's over.
Like it's near the fridge, and it just like wasn't moving. I'm like, is this thing fucking dead?
Yeah.
And then I saw its head just look at me, and it was just so defeated. It was just like, help me, please. So then I grabbed a tea towel and just chucked it over the bird. And then I just grabbed it.
Picked it up.
And he's like, fuck yeah, it's mine. So I'm walking and he's jumping. He's trying to jump on me like, give it to me, Dad. Give it to me.
Fuck.
And then the aftermath was just, where's the shit?
Yeah. Deal with that.
Yeah.
Did the bird live?
Oh, yeah. So, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an Indian miner, though. So, like, kind of like almost could have. But I don't have that in me, though.
Nah.
You know when you hold something and it moves? It's like, I don't know how someone could just,
Yeah.
you know.
End it. Unless, like, you were confident it was done.
Well, even then I'd struggle, I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't know how because you can't suffocate him. Like, I wouldn't know how to. Like, how do you just close his beak? Like, I feel like that's more.
It's just a neck snap.
I feel like I couldn't do it, though.
Yeah.
It's like,
We've talked about it at golf. Like, if you hit a bird,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's got to go. It has to go.
So unfair,
yeah.
but not because you're not making it suffer. But
Seen a few in the local residents, kangaroos and wallabies and shit that are like, can someone come and...
Oh, because it's
just
been hit by a car or something?
Yeah. It's just laying on the side of the road and shit.
Do you reckon they punch on with pets? Like dogs and shit?
Kangaroos? Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indy fucking chased one one day.
I wonder what... Like, I know, obviously, the kangaroo maybe would have the advantage depending on the kangaroo. Because some dogs...
100%, man.
Yeah, because they can sit back with the claws.
Yeah, they just kick, dude.
Yeah. But
If they load up on their tail, dog's done, man.
But do you reckon like it's still a matter of size though, right? Because if a big dog fought a small kangaroo,
It'd still get
the weight's going to win.
it'd still get messed up. But it might win.
It's like when they fight a snake.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
they
seen
kill the
like
snake, but they don't.
hunting dogs take down kangaroos, and it's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
One hop over a fence, one bounce, kangaroo down, done. It was just like, and like a 4 foot, 5 foot kangaroo, not
Yeah.
a little. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, they used to spray paint this dog blue.
So
they
they
was
wouldn't
a fox.
Oh, it's like it didn't get shot.
Yeah, because it's tan. It's fucking mad.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah, very cool dog.
So would you like to share your ordeal with
Fuck.
the podcast?
Story time.
With the audience?
Story time.
How has your week been, Ben?
It's been great. It's been fucking great. All right, so we'll go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So I got a cyst in like 2020 in COVID. Flared up, went to the doctor. He was like, I'll empty it. You have some antibiotics. You'll need it cut out eventually. Like, it'll just come back. But obviously, there's no elective surgeries right now. So I think every other time it's flared up was in lockdown.
Yeah.
It's been ages. So then, yeah, I had just not even thought about it. Like, probably I'd do the rear double bind. I'm like, yeah, probably should. Like,
Yeah, it's like it's a problem, but it's not big enough.
yeah, it
So
doesn't
you're just
hurt.
like,
I don't care.
Yeah, it's like a little dent in the wall. You're like, I'll patch that up. But it's like,
Yeah, then you just forget to
yeah,
see it
and then you
anymore.
just get used to looking at it.
Correct. So I was like, it's fine. So I did a big weekend in the car, ate like shit, just like,
Yeah.
it was irritated as, and it just, all right, let's go.
Ooh.
Okay. So it blew up bad. Went to the doctor. I'm like, cool. I'd like to take this off, please. Like, sweet. Do an ultrasound. We'll make sure that's what it is. Come back and we'll do it. So go into the follow-up. She's like, okay, cool. At this point, I can't sleep. Can't lay on my back. Can't do anything. She's like, oh, that's cool. So, yeah, just book in. And you'll need the head doctor and myself to do that. I'm like, okay. She's like, that's going to be a week. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Amy, let's do this. Gloves on, needle out, let's go. So you saw the video of the the extraction, let's call it, which was
delightful.
Yeah, if you're having breakfast right now or eating, maybe just skip this whole segment.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think we got as graphic last week. You were like, it was it was multiplied by 5.
Yeah, it was horrid.
It's like what we saw was multiplied by 5, I think you said.
Yeah, she did that 5 times basically.
Yeah.
So by like
so much.
Thursday, I was fine. So then I was like, it doesn't hurt anymore. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I need to go get it taken off
Yeah.
so it doesn't happen again. So go in, get the local and all of that, fine. I could feel them hacking at it.
Oh, really? Like
So,
trying to get...
No pain, just like feel the tug and like the knife like... Yeah, bro. I was like, this is horrible, man. Obviously couldn't feel anything. It was fine. So Mads was down for the weekend and Amy's like, you're not going by yourself. I'm like, that's fine. She's like, so Maddie's a nurse. She's like, take it with you. Go.
Yeah.
So Maddie's like looking over the top, just like, fuck, man. Like there's one point that the doctor, the other nurse, and Maddie were all like, fucking hell. And I was like, guys.
Yeah.
No, I don't need this right now.
I can't see.
Yeah, stop it. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, so now you can see like we're down to the muscle. So we're just making sure that we're separating this.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Use your knife carefully, sir.
Fuck, dude. All right.
I don't want any less gains coming out of you.
So it's probably like, I don't know, maybe the first tip part of your index finger was what came out.
Yeah.
So went home, all good. Didn't really do anything. Held LJ on the other side. It was all still numb. So it's like I was trying really conscious not to do shit that would be dumb because I can't feel it.
Yeah.
And I think because I was leaning over the table, eating my lunch, I got up. I'm like, all right, I'm going back to work. And I got like 3 steps. And I was like, my back's wet. It's weird. So I took my jumper off and all the inside of my jumper was red. I was like,
oh no.
Okay. So I went and take my shirt off. It's like dripping on the floor and shit. Like, okay. This is... So I think it had been bleeding and because I was sitting forwards over the table, it's actually pulled in the hole because they only stitched the top.
Right.
And then it's when I've stood up, it's just flown out. So again, Amy and I were just looked at Mads like, help. Like, we don't know what to do now. There's a lot of blood. Help.
Yeah.
So back we went. And the doctor comes in and just like, oh, just like hold pressure on it. Like, see how you go. Maddie's like, I have been. Like, it's not stopping. And she said the other nurses were like, what is happening? That's a lot. So he opened me up again. I think I got 4 stitches inside.
Yeah.
And he found a vein that had
Just been nicked or something.
been nicked on the way through. Yeah.
Wow. That's
So
fun.
I think the last 2 stitches I knew happened. So it didn't hurt,
You just felt them.
but I knew that the needle was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so another half an hour, this would have been a really bad experience.
Far out.
Yeah, sat up and
insane.
looked at the tray and I was just like, the doctor was the best, man. He was the best.
Is this your doctor, the one we...
No, he's
different
it's like the boss man.
Oh.
Owns the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah. So he's like, I don't know if he was just being a dick, just like G-ing me up.
Yeah.
But he's like, fuck, this reminds me of a bullet wound I did. It's just like wouldn't stop bleeding. This lady got shot in the liver. We just had to pack it. It's like, just fucking won't stop. I'm like, okay, I've got a bullet wound. I'm tough.
What a mad dog.
Yeah, he was really cool. So then, yeah, he's like, I got the little bastard when he found the vein and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. It was weird because I didn't feel it. It was actually like a fun time.
Right.
Like, the room was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so internals, then yeah, stitched up the outside. Off we go.
Does that delay the recovery now? Or does
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't actually ask.
Now with
after
internal stitches, I probably wouldn't really push it training wise. But if you have like external ones, I'm like, I'm going to the gym tomorrow.
that. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. So last night
thanks for the concern, bro.
I was like kind of bicep curling LJ just to be like,
Yeah.
can I do this? Is this okay?
So just do a couple 1.5s, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll definitely train left next week.
Just do isometrics. Just like hold it, LJ, like that.
Yeah.
And he wiggles a lot, so it'll be oscillating.
Yeah. So I think next week I'll just do like legs, single leg or leg extensions, leg curls, and then just like single arm row.
I'll let you have
single
my
arm pec.
You know my seatbelt, so
Yeah.
you don't have to hold on to the, and you can just
Yeah,
seatbelt
that'll
yourself
work.
on to the leg extension. So then you can just.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting there. The bandage came off this morning, so I got to see it.
Yeah.
It's all like yellow and
Yeah.
looks awesome.
Does it have like a distinct scar on it? Is it like an X or?
It's just a straight line, which is disappointing.
Yeah, it would have been cooler if it was like.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because then it would have resembled.
We'll put it up on the.
It would have resembled
Generally
a bullet wound, or you know what I mean? Like if it was
Yeah,
like a.
the photo
dent.
of it like pulled open
Yeah.
looks like a bullet wound. Like, that's tough.
So that's when I got shot.
That's tough. Yeah.
So, I
Frame
feel like
it.
50 cent a little bit.
I'll frame it.
Did you get to keep the I was going to say, like, what we going to do with
No,
that?
they send it away just to make sure.
It's not
anything else.
malignant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is malignant? Maligned? I don't
know.
that
Bad.
term. Yeah. Yeah, feels. Yeah. So, wait, is it 3 weeks, no training?
So before I went back, I was like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I need to see you in 10 days for the stitches. And then probably a week after that.
Right.
And I was like,
That's 3 weeks, technically.
I hate you.
Yeah. You think like once the stitches are out, just like, rah!
So my doctor was like, I think it's like 7 days, like no controlled exercise, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then, which now I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe that's just even walking.
Yeah. Oh,
That's not happening.
not controlled exercise.
I think she said controlled exercise.
Yeah, but like,
I just heard
that's
7
pretty
days
controlled
stop
to me.
lifting. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, 7 days.
So you
and
need
I was like, I can deal with a week.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Monday to Monday is okay. Do some steps.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah,
And he
that's
said 10, and I was like, when he said 10, I was like, ugh. Then he's like, and then it'll probably be a week after that. I was like, I want to fight you. But that was before.
Yeah,
So I
'cause-
don't know if it'll be.
Oh, longer.
Well, like, it also, like, how many patients go home and eat 2.5, 3 grams of protein per kilo body weight and train, and you know what I mean? Like, recovery could be faster.
It's just the standard talk, right?
Yeah. He said, I'll assess it when I do your stitches.
Because I would think if the stitches come out like it's healed.
Well, not inside.
I keep forgetting about that little chestnut.
Yeah. Yeah, the great big cavity in my back.
Yeah. Feels. Nah, it's got good blood supply. It'll be fine.
It'll be all right.
All that blood, it's got oxygen in it somewhere.
I'm most worried about the time when it starts to feel okay, but it's not. Like, you know, when you come back from any injury and you're like,
you don't forget.
I feel all right, and then you do something, you're like, oh,
well,
you
don't think about it, and then you're like, my shoulder still hurts.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
Lots of steps.
Yeah.
Averaged 13,000 this week.
Wow, 13,000.
Yeah,
that's
2.5
substantial.
2.5 gram. Bumped my protein from 2 to 2.5 grams per kilo, so it's like 230 or something. Calories are 23. Yeah, so deficit.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I somewhere between like 28 and 3 at the moment seems to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is maintenance 28 or you cut
somewhere between 28 and 3 it seems to be. Like if I'm in there, nothing happens.
Oh, so
weight,
28 and 3,000 calories? Sorry, I thought you meant 28 and 23.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
28 and
3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also.
Inside that zone, nothing happens.
Yeah, also. Where that used to be 32 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, then stay at home life.
Desk job, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But the walks have been fun. I'm learning my estate, which is cool. I haven't got lost again.
At least it's nice to walk around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same as
and the weather's been okay. The first day it fucking rained all day. I was like, I just need to go outside.
Yeah, bad. Yeah, we've had good weather lately. It's been. I don't want to get.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too carried away.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been too bad. Yeah.
Summer's here, my dad reckons.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure spring's a little bit wet in Melbourne, bro.
Yeah, and cold as fuck. And Christmas Day will be like 15.
Yeah, it feels. Yeah.
What else is topics for the week?
So
how's your training?
Getting straight into practical conversation.
I've been feeling skinny.
Mine's good. I've obviously been doing the exercises that I should do every time my shoulder hikes up.
Yep.
And you know what? It's feeling good.
Feels better.
Yeah.
It's funny that.
Yeah. So I've been doing my Y raises and my crucifixes.
It's hilarious. I
stretching and
when I hurt my left shoulder, so my right shoulder always hurts.
Yeah.
So I started rehabbing my left shoulder and just did the same thing. I'm like, my right shoulder doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
If you just spent 5 minutes warming up, you'd never be in fucking pain.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm the same. So my body's feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
At the moment. Yeah. It's just dealing with. I haven't been sleeping really well.
Do you think the walking helps too?
Oh, I couldn't tell you because I always do a bit of walking all the time.
On the treadie too.
Yeah, I always do a bit of walking all the time. But I feel I know I feel heaps better.
Yeah.
Like even just since I've been walking Mav since Cleo passed away.
Yeah.
Like I feel good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's interesting. Like if the difference in me from 5,000 to 6,000 steps to 8,000 to 9,000 steps.
Yeah.
In terms of niggles is night and day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know if I don't walk and I'm heavy, I feel fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I get this pain in my hip.
Yeah.
And if I sit for too long, just fucking, it's like someone's jamming something in there.
Yeah.
And as soon as I move more and I'm lighter, much better.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling. The sleep's been fucking bad.
Okay.
Like,
just cows.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like, with the weights and you're dropping the weights off and all that hoo-ha and a bit of stress and obviously like the contest preps, like they're all kind of coming to a penultimate point. I think it's just everything, like, and then the calories obviously like
extra
tipping
stress.
you over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I was waking up at like fucking 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and I'm like, this is a problem. And then even the guys are all not complaining, telling me the same. So I was like, this has to get resolved.
Yeah.
Because if the sleep we don't get enough, like you're not going to get 10 hours of rest of sleep. But if you can't get at least 6, it's a problem.
Mm.
So I did a bit of research.
Yep.
And like a couple of my clients are taking some sleep subs, but like they're just so expensive. Yeah. And I know they're like just from a supplement company and, like I know that formula's probably worth about 20 cents.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to like put in...
I'm going to make one.
No, mate, I'm a beast with ChatGPT. Like, I'm a beast with it.
Yeah.
Like, I literally, like, that's my search engine now. Like, I don't even bother with Google anymore.
I've started to move that way too.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I need this. Tell me where to go. I live in Australia type deal. So I just went like, this is the circumstances that I have. This is the solution that I need.
Yep.
And I need you to look at through the internet to find me like your top 5 sleep supplements with this formula in it.
Yep.
So I just wanted to have a couple of things in there. And it was like, these are the ones you want to look for. And then I said I want it to be less than $50.
Yep.
And they were like, these are the ones. And so then I found this one. So it's got a calming formula and then fast release melatonin and then slow release melatonin in a tablet. It's just layered.
Yep.
So I took it the first night out like cold, vivid dreams, ridiculous.
Yep.
But I woke up in the morning feeling shit.
Yeah.
Like I woke up in the morning feeling groggy. And a few other people were like, yeah, that's kind of what I felt when I did it.
Yeah.
It's the time release melatonin. And I was like, fuck, I need to solve this problem. So you can't cut them in half because they're layered. So I just bit it.
Yeah.
Like the fucking caveman I am. So I was like, fuck, I'll just bite half of it and take half.
Yep.
Man, half is the sweet spot.
Right.
So it's like noticeably like feeling tired as I'm like in bed.
Yeah.
You got to take it about 45 minutes before you sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, do not remember waking up at all.
Wow.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And then waking up in the morning when the alarm goes off.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking feel sick. I had a mad as a leg workout yesterday.
Yeah.
Just like not resistant to stress.
Yeah.
Like feel good. Blood pressure was fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm like, it's still early days. And I don't want to use it all the time. But I'm thinking like just,
yeah,
you know, and every other day. Or as I get leaner, at least I can lean on it. And then I told Jackson about it.
Yep.
And he was like, that was fucking best night's sleep I've had in months.
Amazing.
So I was like, all right, it's good to have the tool in the box now.
Yeah.
You know, for the guys. So I can be like, hey, if you're struggling, lean on this or have a look at it. Obviously, it's always a choice. Yeah. But so that's been the
medical professional.
Yeah. Liability on you, not me. So that's been the biggest thing I've noticed so far.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Chat's really cool, hey, for that.
Yeah.
Once you learn how to use it properly.
Yeah, especially now because you can. It's got I can't remember what they're called, like extensions or whatever. So you can actually, there's like an extension that you can search like a databases of like journals and studies.
Yeah. And
so you can be like I can't remember what it's called, because I just select the tab and it's like, can you find me? Like I was looking at like carbohydrate refeeding.
Yep.
And because I don't do carbohydrate refeeding on bodybuilders, like we have to use endurance sports as like a understanding like carbing up.
Yeah.
So I just said like, I just went, look at all of the studies in the last 100 years that have information on carbohydrate uptake and, how much and this and that and body weight and water and salt and all that. And then it's just like, here's everything. And I'm like, okay, so then summarize that for me and create like a practical application for me.
Wow.
And then it will summarize it down. It won't give you like exact, of course.
Yeah.
But it can give you some really good frameworks.
Yeah.
So it's like carbohydrate ranges from this to this. There's supercompensation here. For every, gram of carbohydrates, you probably want to have 950 milligrams of sodium, blah, 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 or 1 liter of water, sorry. And yeah, so it's kind of cool. So you can basically be like, all right, so now I have this framework of thought.
Yeah.
And I can,
apply
it.
A starting point.
Yeah, so it's really good for that. Rather than rummaging through books and then coming out with the same thing at the end. So
yeah.
So yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, it's cool.
So yeah, that's it. But training is going good.
Good.
Confident. Don't like getting smaller, but it's just in my head.
Yeah. You don't look small.
No, it's just the clothes. I think like if you had normal, like if I jump into clothes like in a large, then it's fine.
Better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not used to the clothes just swimming on me because they're extra large.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, my own
I don't put those on anymore. That made me sad.
Yeah. Well,
I've been under 90 for a bit. It's like that wardrobe just...
Yeah. I threw out every medium item of clothing I had because I was just like, I'm never going to be this small again.
Yeah.
And now I might. it's like, fuck,
Yeah.
you know?
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe, quite possibly, at some point, could be under 80 kilos. So I'm gonna have to buy. Oh, it's alright. I'll just buy my feelings. Just buy new clothes.
Do a full wardrobe shop. Yeah.
Do a full wardrobe shop for 3 months.
Yeah. And then go back to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I do have something really cool to talk about. So I watched this. I watched this channel on YouTube, and it's like about fucking training and stuff. And they basically like summarize studies and just make them into like infographics on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the topic was knowing your program leads to better gains. So
Okay.
sorry, knowing your program is personalized
Right.
leads to better gains.
Okay. It's just
So-
a buy-in.
Well, I don't know. Apparently, if I put the same program out and I was like, this is a program from our training app.
Yep.
That anyone can do.
Yep.
And then I go and took the same program. I said, Ben,
This is just for you.
I've made this program just for you, with your goals, for you to get swole. Have at it.
Yeah.
You will get better results because of that discussion
Yeah.
than,
It makes 100% sense.
yeah. So
That's crazy.
both, yeah. So apparently the mental approach to the session was better. So that person was able to like push themselves harder.
Yeah.
The progressive overload was there. Like the way they approach things, most likely outside of the gym, was better than
Yeah.
someone who's just like, oh, I just got the cookie
generic.
cutter approach. So then I thought about it, and I was like, it makes so much sense then to just do that quick overview of like, here's your program,
Yeah.
this is what we're doing and why.
Yep.
So that they're like, oh, okay, like
Mm.
this phase is for this.
Yep.
Like if you're doing a lower body, like hamstring, glute
Yep.
specific kind of cycle for your clients or a course. You know why I don't like saying cycle now?
Yeah.
Rod says this. He goes, a cycle is when you start and come back. It's like where a course is where you start and finish. Isn't that cool?
I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of because it means you're going to go back to where you were when you first started. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you like the goal is to be weak and then go back to be strong. Being strong, go back to being weak.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you do that and then you're like, these are the exercises, this is the split, this is how it's going to be done. I've made this for you. This is exactly what we're doing right now.
Yep.
It's like, how does that person show up? Obviously,
Yeah.
I mean, this is only one cherry picked
Yep.
study, but I thought it was a cool thing to talk about because like even like just the power of the mind. And then I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and apparently this is how heavily a placebo effect can work. So they did this study where they gave two different groups the same program and controlled the same training environment, but they gave one group these pills, and they were like, these are steroids.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on steroids.
Yes.
Yeah. And this group's not.
Yeah.
And so they were sad and they were happy. And they weren't. They were fake. They were just
Yeah.
sugar or whatever. And they got significantly more gains just from thinking
Yeah.
that they were on it.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well,
Placebo is not a placebo if it works.
and how about all those supplements that you buy
The test boosters
and you're like, I'm going to give this everything I have.
Yeah.
So then it's like, is it just the fact that you took the thing
Yeah.
that makes you get the better results because you do everything?
You were saying last week, right? We're talking about the blood sugar thing.
Yeah. Well,
And you were like, well, it's just a way to get,
people to do
if
shit.
people control their blood sugar,
Yeah.
they'll likely eat in a deficit.
Mm.
So it's just a way to get people to be like, I'm a do this.
Yeah.
Give
Just
my
chuck
heat
a
to
little
it.
bit of, what was it, Tribulus?
Yeah.
Just chuck a bit of Tribulus in it. It'll be all
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So there you go. I thought that was amazing. So then
I think BSC one has one called T-ball.
Yeah, T-Bowl. Yeah, that's
My
really cool.
client's like, so I've like used like, what do you think about like tests and stuff? I'm like, where are we going with
It's
this?
amazing.
Where are we going with this?
If
Talk
you
to
don't,
me. What, like-
how old are you first?
And I was like, before I open this, what do you mean? What have you done?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I took this T-ball, and I was like, I've never fucking heard of that.
Yeah.
Well,
there's one called, isn't it like Turnaball or something?
Yeah,
like
I
that's
think
an
so.
actual steroid.
Yeah. So I Googled it, and it came up as this BSC test booster, and I was like, oh, bro, this is like a multivitamin. Like, you're going to have that, you're like, sorry.
Wow, jeez, you and I have very different conversations with our clients by the sound of it. It's like, is 2 grams a week too much?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh shit. So what made me also think about the value of this is like the flip side.
Mm-hmm.
So not the flip side of like not knowing your program's personalized to you, but just like the limitations that you'll put on yourself just from what you say and think.
Yep.
And like I am like the most guilty of it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, got the shittest genetics, like got 1 out of the 5 characteristics, which is the height.
Yeah.
Like, just things that you say.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what's that doing to your potential?
Well, this is the growth mindset stuff, right?
Yeah. It's like, what is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, it is. It's just highlighted in a way. Well, it's highlighted in a way that kind of hides under the covers, though.
Yeah.
Because you can sit there and go, like, if I have a program, if I have a plan, if I set all these things up, I just have to believe I can do it.
Yeah.
And you can kind of still operate under like a growth mindset, but still along the way be like, but you're not really going to be the best at this.
Yeah.
You're not really going to.
So that's, in therapy language, that's called a blind spot.
Yeah. Jeez, that's very cheap. That's very cheap of me to find out here. But yeah, just imagine like what. So then I was like, well, how much fucking progress have I lost?
Yeah.
Referencing the 0.1% and going, if I'm not going to be the 0.1,
yeah,
like, should I just not go all in all the time?
Yeah. So basically what you're hearing, ladies and gentlemen, over the last month is Jason slowly convincing himself that he's going to compete next year. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have.
Yeah.
The business will be okay. We'll be fine. His wife's already said yes. He's got a tick from the boss.
We'll see. I'm got to get down to 86 kilos.
Matt's
first.
just messaged you. He's just heard that and messaged you. It's already happened.
I'm choking. I'm dying.
We've made him nervous. It's taken 350 episodes and we've made him nervous.
I'm natty and I feel like my blood pressure's through the roof and my face is red raw. So,
but coming back to the point, like doing the personalized programming thing, imagine even just like the little, thinking more for a person listening, the little like, I don't like this exercise. And the little like,
I hate this movement.
I don't really like that. I don't really want to do that or whatever. Like if you don't have I'm doing this because the expert that I trust, that I have buy-in and that I've assigned to be responsible for this task has given me, behind that, you don't apply. Absolutely.
Even like if you look at, like we talked about, like the weak muscle group theory.
Yeah.
It's like all the muscle groups that you have that are like small and underdeveloped, like I'm going to go and say most of you hate doing those.
Yeah.
Like I used to say like, oh, I hate training arms.
Yeah.
It's just flexion and extension at the elbow. Yeah. Fucking arms are small.
Yeah.
Like it
Surprise.
makes, that's it. It's like just that blind spot is messing with how you approach everything.
Yeah.
It's like it's at the end of the workout. It's like, I'll just do some arms at the end. Yeah. It's like, no, you want bigger arms. They should be at the start of your fucking session.
Yeah.
And you should be approaching those with 100% focus. Yeah. Because that's the weakness that you have right now. Yeah. So you need to lean on setting everything else up to be perfect in order for you to maximize the stimulus for that. Yeah. But you don't do that. You lean on the things that you're better at. So you're like, oh, I'll train my massive back that's super strong at the start of my pull session. And then I'll do my biceps at the end, which are terrible. And I'll give myself no conscious thought on how to approach it.
Because I can train my back autonomously because I'm good at it. And it's favorable to my anatomy.
Yeah. And you just play that out in your head. You're like, this is good and fun, so I'm going to do it. Yeah. But this is shit, so I'm not going to do it. It's like, that's not going to work, man.
Yeah. I've got, I'm so excited for comp coming up. Like, my girls have just started their singles. And every week, in the check-in, it's like fucking volume PR, predicted my
Yeah.
own PR, this PR. I'm like, fuck, all right, we're on. All of them are up.
Let's fucking go.
So one of my girls in particular just had no lats when I started coaching her.
Yeah.
Which is like pretty typical. There's a lot of powerlifting coaches that are like, I
Yeah,
really
don't
care
do
about your
back. Yeah.
Yeah, even I think Juggernaut are like,
Yeah.
back volumes or whatever. So I gave her this like single arm cable row, and fucking she was just like, I hate this, man.
Yeah.
Like I reckon 2-3 times she's like, I hate this. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
But have a look at this in your deadlift. This is what happened. Now her back posted a video during the week. I was like, who the fuck is that?
Fuck, let's go.
And it's that. It's just like, she would have never done that exercise.
Mm.
To eyeball her and say, you need this.
Mm.
This is the weakness that you have. And if you do, like it probably could have been a few different exercises, but I'm like, I know this one will work.
Yeah, yeah.
If you do this and do it well for an extended period of time, it will help.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think this week she's got 8 weeks to go. She was within a couple of kilos of her PB. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
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 So 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you find it writing your own programs. Like that's the thing that I always question the most. It's just like, am I cheat coding this
yeah.
for what I like, or am I actually doing the thing that I need to do
Yeah.
for my goal?
I will pick what I need, but I'll, in that category, move to what I like.
Correct. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I hate training adductors.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. Hurts. Fucking hurts, man. Like you're doing the splits with some weights,
Yeah.
and stretching the inner of your legs hurts, man.
Uh-huh.
And then trying to squeeze the watermelon hurts.
Yeah.
But it's like if there was another adductor exercise that someone said, like, why don't you do a long strided lunge where you step slightly outwards? I'm like, that's a no from me, dog. It's a no from me. Yeah, so it's like, I'll do it, but I'll pick the movement I like within the
parameters,
the pursuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes it's probably like if you had someone governing your decisions, they're just going to be like,
no, you're doing a long stride lunge. Son.
Absolutely, or you're doing both, bro.
Yeah, too bad.
Yes, because yours need a little work. Yeah. So yeah, like that's if and when the time comes where I make a decision.
Yeah.
I'll have to outsource and just accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think rationalizing is good.
Yeah.
I think understanding is important.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Like you said, those layers of just like the stories you tell yourself.
Yeah. And the stories that, like, I'm not using this as like a cop out for people to be like, oh, I need a coach and I need to, but even if you're second guessing what you're doing week to week.
Yeah.
And, because you're following something that you watch someone else do online, which is totally fine. But think about what the voice is in your head of like, is this really going to work for me? Is my training split? Is this training style? Like all of those things are most likely leaving gains on the table if you're thinking that way.
Yeah. It also leads to data too.
Absolutely.
Like stacking the proof of, like we said, the app. It's like, hey, you've never done this much volume on this exercise or whatever. Like your measurements have changed, or how many times do you have someone like, I feel like nothing's happening?
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah,
you're losing 0.5 centimeter a week.
Yeah. There's so much of that, like what is actually happening and what you think is happening. Like you can't prove most of the time what you think is happening.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you were in a controlled laboratory environment, you're going to be able to go, well, you had more actin-myosin cross-bridging. You had, more fucking contractile tissue and have less body fat.
Yeah.
Like you'll be able to go, this is the sum of your effort for the week.
Yeah.
But because we can't prove that, because everyone's not elaborate and we don't have those controlled environments, they have to lean on the feel part.
Yeah.
And sometimes, again, how we think about doing stupid shit to appease the people. That's where sometimes I think people lean on doing those things like the finishes and the like
the feelings,
the rubber, the rower, like the fast roll at the end of the session can make them huff and puff, like because that leans into that subjective feel for them.
Yeah,
and we know if the rest of the plan is
solid.
Yeah, solid in a controlled laboratory environment we could prove it.
Yeah.
So if we do that and then just give some of them people the feel, because if they're not fully bought in, like you got to blend the veggies in with the pasta sauce a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to change or pivot your approach based on the person that's in front of you.
Yeah.
So if you have like a newer client, maybe you got to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to do a finisher at the end of the session. It's like, hey, just do as many fucking Smith machine hip thrusts as you can.
Yeah.
You know, with 50% of your body weight.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably a stupid example, but it's probably a stupid example. Maybe push-ups. Let's just do that.
Yeah.
Where, like, later on down the line, once they get the buy-in, the program's the program.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, I can't control... I don't know exactly how much progress I made this week, but I'm controlling what I know matters, and I trust Ben or Jason or whoever my coach is, and I know that I'm going to get to the destination if I just show up.
Yeah, and I think that trust is built by being able to bring up evidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's progress in performance. Like you said, you can't do the lab thing. It's like, what can we... It's a stack your proof, right? It's like, cool. So if the weeks you actually ate all the food you were supposed to eat, this is what happened.
Yeah.
And the weeks that you trained really hard, this is what happened. And the blocks that you did, and the program that you did, and the prep that you did, and whatever, where you put the pieces together, this is what happened.
Yeah.
And last time when I said, I think we should do this, and we did it, this happened.
Absolutely.
So that stack of proof all the way through, you stop like having that doubt.
Yeah, and the start of all that comes from lining up what needs to be done for the destination. Yeah. So you just look at like, what's it going to take to win the day, and what's it going to take for this day to be a success in relation to your goals.
Yep.
Hit your steps, do your cardio, go to progressively overload your weight training program.
Yep.
Hit your macros, get enough sleep, do whatever else you have to do. You line those up, and then again, it's like, okay, well, when I do all of these things, like you just said,
magic happens.
You're at your best.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden, you don't need to just throw in a little bit of tired work or pump work at the end to appease that person because they just know now.
Yeah, and it's so interesting looking at my progress. I kind of only stopped last week because I was like, fuck, I can't train. And just was like looking at old photos and stuff, and like looking at the photo shoot. The way I was bought into the photo shoot last year, feels-wise, way higher than this year.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, this could be my last chance to really have a crack at this. Like,
do you reckon that was like baby was coming?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I was like, I'm like, I might not be able to do this again.
Yeah.
To the level that I can right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
And like, the transformation was okay.
Yeah.
But like, I look at the last 7 months, and it's literally just been, I have to dot the I and cross the T. That's it. Every single day, do the thing. Every single day, do the thing. Every single day, do the thing. There was I was like, I don't really care about the photo shoot that much.
Yeah.
I'll go, I'm going to be the fattest and smallest at the same time because all your clients are monsters. It's just like,
I'll probably be the smallest. Is that going to this right?
So it's like, it's fine. I'll still work towards it because I'll have a goal, but so much more micro focused of just like, this sets up my day, this sets up my day, this sets up my day. I want to win, I want to feel confident, I want to win, I want to feel confident. Just bang, 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 bang. And then I was like, this is the best I've ever looked.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, again, coming back away from all of the noise, just like, what do I need to do right now to get the thing to happen? Yeah. It's really interesting.
Yeah. And that's, I did my first journal entry today.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. It's funny. I was like, because I'm so process orientated.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, so I have this book. Now, what are the steps involved in me writing in the book?
Yeah. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT for some prompts.
Yeah. And it was awful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, awful.
Yeah.
They weren't good. I like, it was just so generic. I was like, I can think of these. So then I like got other people to contribute on Instagram.
Yeah.
Some of them were valuable. Some of them don't work for me.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them were like, what do I need to do for the day to be like a success? Like as in from like a lowest common denominator perspective. And that's fine if that's the way you need to work. I just don't operate that way.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do the bare minimum. I don't want to think about the day as like a bare minimum. I just need to be like, how do I win today?
Yeah.
That's my But that was cool because I looked at like, obviously everyone was like, so all I did, it was like, there was no judgment. I just went like, well, what's the commonality across the board here? And it's like the day's performance. So I need to appease the anxiety that people have around how they showed up that day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool. So the question is like, how do I look back on today and say it's successful?
You're the best.
Why?
It's like the questionnaire. It's like the journal has just become so process driven. I love it. It's the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine telling Jace to like, all right, now I just needed you to open your diary, your journal, and just free write for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Your head would just explode.
No, so, well, I'll tell you. So what happened today is I did that.
Yeah.
But
cool.
I wrote, it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I literally wrote like what the book was.
Yeah.
Like I wrote, the first line was, this is my first entry.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I was like, that's stupid.
No, it's not. Because words happen and then things happen.
And then I wrote like the reason why I'm like, what did I say? The reason why I have this book is for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And then after it, I was like, how I make today a success is, and I just went ... And then I was like, the things that I am very fortunate about and feel happy about right now are ... And then I just signed it off and walked away.
Yeah.
But it was like the words at the top were just nothing.
Yeah. You have to warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then here I am wanting these like 400,000 questions that I just wrote 2. I just answered 2.
Yeah. Did you feel better after?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think signing it and putting my initials was like pretty powerful as well. Because at the end I was like, I need to sign this off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Maybe I'll try it.
Yeah. I don't know what made me do it. I was just like, I feel like this was an agreement I made with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like like signing it off is like dare I say it? Amen. You know?
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
So it's just a cool way to say prayer.
Yeah. So I was about to say like
next week I'm gonna have this fucking huge cross.
No, we'll go get tattoos. Sternum ones.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so mine I word it as God. I don't see God as a man in
Dear
the sky.
leader, that's what just say that.
Yeah. So it's what is God trying to tell you right now? So like I said, God isn't the man in the sky. For me, it's usually the voice in the back of your head that you don't listen to.
Yeah.
So it's just like, people call it universe, people call it subconscious, people call it whatever, my higher self, whatever the fuck you ever call it, whatever you want. God's 3
depends
letters.
Depends what your hobbies are, depending on who you refer to.
Correct. Yeah. Like
I collect crystals.
3 letters is really easy to write. And it's just like, what is that telling you?
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, to just stop and be like, I have to actually, that's noise, that popped up, that's noise, it popped up again. And it's like, usually on like the 3rd or 4th one, I'm like, oh, that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what's actually lingering in the back of my head right
now. Yeah. The cool thing too was to like just sign off on the things that were stressing me out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
I was an anxious mess this week because I had a huge responsibility on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I got rid of it.
Yeah.
And now I feel better about it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
And usually that's the answer I get is usually like, it's actually fine.
Yeah.
Like some variation of it's okay, you're going to be okay, this is okay. Like, or you just need to do this or stop avoiding that and you'll feel better. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it was pretty helpful.
Interesting.
Actually.
Look at us.
I know.
Mid-30s.
Yeah. Growing.
Starting to find our feelings.
Yeah, I know. Wish I found him earlier. Just fortunate everyone's given me a chance up until this point.
Emotional maturity, right? Fucking hell.
So coming back to this whole like mentality approach to training, I was looking at what is the best way to approach your training to get the most arousal and focus. So there's 3 ways to improve circulatory arousal. So there's preparatory arousal. So that's like watching Ronnie Coleman's fucking Machiavelli motivation video where he just says, yeah, buddy, like 400,000 times. Or you watch like Blood and Guts or something.
Yeah.
Before you go in, or like anything, something
G-up.
that's going to give you, you got to watch it to get G'd up before you go.
Yeah.
Then there's motivating self-talk. So that's the things you say to yourself. Like apparently,
the Kittle one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's actually a really awesome example.
I breathe in health and I exhale pain.
Exhale pain. Yeah. And then even there's talks like, even like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are like, this shot's going in.
Yeah.
In their mind, they're like, this is already in.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, the same, like, I'm going to score this free kick as he's putting the ball down on the ground.
Yeah.
So, they're the best to ever do it. So it's probably something to take note of.
Yeah.
And then there's imagery. So it's like looking at, that's why some gyms have
the posters.
the posters. Like, I don't really feel like the murals do it for me.
No.
Because I'm just like, that's not a person.
Yeah.
That's a painted person.
Yeah.
Where like if I see it, it's weird though, but if I see a photo, I'm like, oh, that's mad. Like we went to this Victory gym in Airport West.
Yeah.
It's this little like 1980s time warp.
It looks sick.
It's so nice. And there was like Dorian Yates like signed, a picture on the wall and all these like 80s and 90s bodybuilders. And like that G'd me up.
Yeah.
Because it was a picture of them. But yeah,
because you were in the place.
Well, I feel like it was everything. It was like that's a photo of him actually in a spot lifting a weight in physical being at a given time. Right?
Yeah. But did it make a difference that he'd signed it in the gym and you were in that gym and you're like, Dorian's been here?
I don't know if that was the case, but it was like I was like, this is cool. It's cool. Like this is a guy that I respect, and like that's a real picture of him. Where like when you see the painted pictures on the wall, I'm like, that's art.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. But then again, all it takes is like for a motivational quote or something like that for you to see it, and then you're like, I'm locked in. And people, so the thing was, there's no evidence to suggest that one is better than the other.
Yeah,
it's personal preference,
of course.
So I'm not a big one of like, I don't need to listen to the Yeah Buddy.
Yeah,
and watch people do the thing. I'm a big self talker.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, even when this in the set.
Yep.
If it gets hard, like every now and then I might actually speak out loud, which I probably shouldn't. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, you can do this.
Yeah.
And that just works for me.
Yeah.
So I think if you're trying to create a high performance training environment and you look at something like a gym, you would probably want to have all three.
Yeah.
And then when you look at some places, that's why they have
the meccas,
the training videos going on. I don't know if it's an accident or if they actually look into it. And it's like you've got the training videos going on at the same time. You've got the pictures and stuff on the walls.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not going to be able to get in someone's mind, but you kind of would make the chance. Well, that's right. And then they maybe that brings on some form of positive self-talk.
Yeah.
Pre, during, or after the set.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's cool to unpack even for yourself and go, which one sits the best with me, or if I like all three of them, how can I bring those things into my attention to bring my best?
That's what the vision board thing is too, eh? It's the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
What percentage of your self-talk is like positive?
And when I'm in a set, it's all positive.
Okay.
Like I don't sit there and I'm like, oh, you're a weak bitch, and that like makes me get up. Like as much as like we love to joke about it.
Yeah.
Mine's like, you can do this, man. Like you can run through. You could snap this barbell if you needed to.
Yeah.
Like I just have to. Yeah. And then I obviously like paint worst case scenario pictures in my head.
Yeah.
Like someone's gonna kill my dog, or and I'm like, if I don't get this up, man, like they're gonna take him from me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I'm doing it, bro. And that, like, think about that though.
Yeah.
It's like you set these rules in your head.
Yeah.
And you go, well,
for arousal.
Like my whole world's going to come down crashing on top of me if I don't get those 2 reps out.
Yeah.
So you do it.
Yeah. It's interesting. I feel like I don't have much outside of like, oh, maybe I do. I just don't notice it as much. A lot of mine's physical.
Yeah.
More so on the strength side.
Yeah.
Like preset, it's like, it's the way I stand. It's the way I breathe. It's the way I hold myself. Like, I haven't deadlifted for a year.
Yeah. So, but I would say so you have an image of how that deadlift looks. So you're like, if it's
embody that.
Yeah. If it's stamp your feet.
Yeah.
If it's, slap the sides of your hips. It's like you're thinking about that even subconsciously before you get to the lift.
Yeah. So we were at, even the first sesh I did with M, walked up to the bar, and as soon as it got to a weight that I was like, I have to fucking pay attention, I rattled the bar.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to put a bar I have no business shaking a bar and like shaking my head right now. It's like, I haven't deadlifted for 12 months, just pick the thing up. But it's just like, this is...
It's heavy weightlifting Ben does.
Yeah, it's like, this is who I need to be right now.
Yeah.
I need to stand up and flare my chest and flare my nostrils and breathe hard and shake the bar around and be aggressive and all of that. But it's not necessarily a thought. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
I've never even considered it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess like you could just add on to those though, that like some form of like routine, or it's probably like a subsection of like excellence elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like a subsection of excellence elsewhere is just like how you do the thing.
Yeah. Well, it is like expressing it's the words, but it's communicated physically.
Yeah.
Because like as I go through, well, why would I do that? It's just like I'm telling myself I'm powerful. If I all of a sudden stand up and flare my ribs and fucking stare the bar down or whatever, it's like that's me just not saying you are powerful. It's just doing it.
Yeah, and you've unpacked in your head, whoever it is for whatever task, this is the sequence that it's going to take in order for me to be my best. So that's like giving you confidence that you cannot approach this any better.
Yeah.
So you're leaving it all on the line.
Yeah. Yeah, I do it with my eyes too. I like do this weird like stare thing when I know the set's coming. It's like
about to bring the pain.
Yeah. Like even training with people and that you can feel them see it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm about to do my set. This conversation ends right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, but I don't think everyone has to get there because we've seen people just laughing and so I think it's just knowing the person and how to get the most out of them, but just knowing what tools that you have in the basket to give them to go, hey, like maybe try this, maybe do that.
Yeah. Well, even like we've spoke about receiver last week and I just mentioned Kittle, like he does the affirmation thing. Just the way he talks about such a high intensity game in a high intensity position.
He's so relaxed.
It's just like, he goes, and is it Montgomery? He's like, McCaffrey's just really good at football.
Yeah.
And I was like, it fucking killed me, man.
I think McCaffrey got like top 3 in the league this year.
Yeah. It's just like, we were really lucky that McCaffrey's just really good at football.
Yeah. Well, that's when he won the game for them against,
when
I can't remember now, but it was like in the playoffs.
Yeah. Debo got injured as shit. Yeah.
The Lions.
Yeah.
And they won right at the end.
Yeah. I was like,
because he's
so relaxed. And that's his thing, to go and play an incredibly intense physical game and just be like, isn't football just fun?
Yeah.
And you're like, wow. Yeah. And there's other people headbutting each other and shit.
Yeah. So it's knowing the best. How are we doing for time? 13 minutes? Yeah, sick. Yeah, that went places. I love that. So I only got a couple other questions. I feel like we've answered these, but we can answer them again. It's totally fine.
New listeners.
How effective is a refeed for someone in a hard deficit?
Define effective.
I was going to say the same. Absolutely. So you got to define what effective means. It's like, what intention are you trying to get out of said refeed?
Yeah. If it makes you feel better.
Yeah. Do you reckon that's what they're saying though?
Probably not. Probably does it make you lose more fat on the other side, increase metabolic rate and all that stuff.
Yeah.
In which case, how effective is it net to lose body fat in a vacuum, not considering psychological factors? Meh.
I would say nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the time frame's not long enough to be effective for any of those physiological intentions that people have.
Yeah.
So
other than you might do a good workout, like.
Yeah. Where if your effectiveness is like giving this person a mental reprieve temporarily so that they'll go back into the hole again, then that's a different kind of application for it. But you have to make allowances for the fact that person on that day is most likely not losing as per se, but it still falls into the greater plan, which is much more effective if that's how
it does what we spoke about earlier, which is the buy-in.
Yeah.
It's like, I've had a refeed, I'm okay. I'm fine now. I just needed that day.
Yeah, I think people ask it because they just want they want to think like, I can eat more and lose weight. Like I can, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like I feel like people want that kind of sign off that at some point temporarily my food's going to go up, but it's still going to push me towards the objective. It's like when you like look at it mechanistically, like it doesn't really make that much sense. And then if you're trying to upregulate all of the quote unquote negative adaptations that come from like, controlled famine, it's not long enough. It'd be like, you like just say extreme deficit dieting is like being sunburnt. So you go out of the sun for one day,
doesn't fix it,
and you come back into the sun like you're still sunburnt. So to offset the sunburn, you would need a week, possibly even 10 days. So that's where your refeed / diet break. There's some form of commonality with that. Like we can't sit here and say it's directly the same as sunburn. But
it's a good analogy though.
It's a similar concept though. You're not like, you're just like, oh, go out of the sun for today. Like say the person's like has to work outside in the sun and has no protective clothing. And they're like, fuck man, I just need a break. You're like, cool, just take the day in the shade. But you don't get any work done that day. So you have to understand you don't make any money. You don't move towards like your income goals. But you need a break.
The 4 days after that is better.
You need a break from the sun that day.
You can't take it anymore.
It's exactly the same concept with deficit dieting and extreme deficit dieting, where it's like the person needs a mental reprieve from the hard, ship of what is getting extremely lean.
I think there's also a consideration, even on the psychological side, that a lot of people will then flip into surviving till the next one.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you think about the mentality stuff that we've talked about today, if you're surviving, your workouts aren't going to be as good. Your performance isn't going to be as good. Your moods aren't going to be as good. Your stress is going to be higher, all of those things. So you actually, I think, need to be careful sometimes of like prescribing one, not necessarily like lessening the comp prep stuff, but I think there's
like,
there's like, I've got some of my girls who aren't there. And it's just like, oh, if you're planning like a refeed or a whatever, I'm like, nah, like the data / feedback / whatever will determine when I'm like, maybe you need some calories for a bit. But I'm hesitant because I don't want to put in your head that when it gets really hard, you get fed. So then you make it really hard so you get fed more often.
I understand. And
that, like, I'm like that.
You like almost create a self-fulfilling prophecy where it's like, all right, I need one.
So like the 5, like the cycle diet, I took that from your weekly carb cycling. I couldn't do that. Because having a huge feed on a Saturday night wouldn't work for me to then go back into it on Monday and then just like grit it out to the next one. If I eat heaps of food for a week, I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to stop eating.
I get it.
And then it takes halfway through that week to be like, ooh, I'm hungry. And but it's like, it's okay. Calories go up.
I understand.
Push. This is, and also, this is the week I have to lose body fat. This is the week I have. Don't fuck it up. No, so don't have that fucking cookie. You don't have room for it this week.
Because you're going to get it next week. Or possibly.
So that...
Put that cookie down. No.
So psychologically, that worked way better for me than a 5 and 2.
I get it.
So I think finding, what system, making sure that you're not like me, and it's just like, cool, you can have an extra 1,000 calories, 2,000 calories on one day, and then not being like, well, that's all I live for. And again, it's like if you had that laboratory controlled environment, like you're not going to support the things that you think are happening. Because and then if you like, without having the laboratory controlled environment, you just have to think of the logic of it. It's like if someone's starving, let's go back like 100 years, right? If someone's starving and they get a kill for the day, so they feast on this fucking deer for like the whole day, like the whole village do. But they've been starving before that. They don't wake up the next day and go, I'm full. I'm shredded.
Well, they don't wake up the next day and go, I'm full, I'm this, I'm that. They're still fucking starving because what's happened before that, up to that immediate point, is so, like, the magnitude of that is so high that one acute, or even if there was leftovers for the day after, those 2 acute feedings are nowhere near good enough to negate
the starvation phase.
What you've created before that. So it's still like when they say effectiveness, and when they, some people have asked, like, when do you do the diet break? When do you do the refeed? You also have to consider, like, what's being done before and after said strategies.
Yep.
Because that's really gonna depend on the duration and the amplification of how many calories you're gonna have and all that kind of shit. But it won't. I'm very confident the person that asked this question is thinking about it in a way that it's going to improve their fat loss ability. It's not going to mechanistically, but it will in a roundaboutish way maybe get some buy-in from that person, give them some mental reprieve so they can dig and work hard and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And a good night's sleep.
Yeah, possibly.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I've been using it for that
for
some of my guys.
Yeah. So I have an interesting evolutionary theory that I want to, perhaps you have the physiological explanation and I just have an evolutionary theory.
Okay, let me know.
So when we go into a sharp deficit quickly, that window of like increased energy, focus, want to move, like output goes up.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people get that. It's like the first couple of weeks of dieting, they're like, fuck, my brain just feels amazing.
Yeah.
Like how many people say like, I've gone keto and I feel amazing.
Yeah.
Until like a month later and they hate their life.
Yeah.
Is that because it's a sharp drop in energy availability that we need to create an environment where you're actually functioning better so you can address the situation?
Yeah.
So take the deer, for example.
Yeah.
I've been eating. It's gone. Here's some focus. Here's some energy. Here's some encouragement for you to be more active. Go catch a deer.
Yeah.
Then, too long has passed.
He's fucking
and you're like, bruh, all right, we've accepted it. There's no fucking food. Just don't die. Just slow everything the fuck down.
Yeah. Well, that leans into the reason why people would use a diet break and implement the diet break for a period of time that would give you those positive upregulations in your hunger hormones and your energy expenditure and those types of things. So it's that like you just used an evolutionary reason for why a diet break exists. It's just people don't use the diet breaks for long enough in order to get that feeling.
Yeah. It's almost like the opposite, hey, though. Like, it's almost the diet break for the surplus.
Yeah.
It's like, you're heavy, you feel shit.
Well, you're just flipping.
And you're like, ugh. Yeah. It's like, well, here's 2 weeks in a slight deficit.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, you're like, my brain's back. I feel like a fucking person.
Yeah, and you're just flipping the bridges.
Yeah.
So it's like the bridge of surplus to surplus has to have some form of, like, deficit in it, because that's where you'll get you'll downregulate the negative side effects and upregulate the positive ones from surplus dieting.
Yeah.
And then when you go bridge to bridge on deficit to deficit, it's just how long that bridge is in my opinion related to how much, say, land you've walked across before you get to that bridge. Yeah. So
it's just interesting, like that drop from the real high to the real low.
Yeah, that
it's
makes.
Like, I feel fucking great. I'm like, why?
Yeah, well,
why has this happened?
Yeah, and that would be because everything's where it needs to be, and there's probably some psychological. Look, not probably. I would say it is heavily likely that there is some psychological, things at play there where you're like, I've just had this. I am full. I am. It's the whole like pizza before you go squat thing, right?
Yeah.
If I have a pizza, I'll squat like carb a PB. Loaded.
Yeah.
It's like
people that carb load on cake.
Yeah, but it's like you're like, if I eat a pizza, I'm big. I feel full. I feel heavy. I feel strong.
Yeah.
You're just eating the pizzas over the week and going into the week. Like, and you're just like, well, I'm full and recharged and ready to go.
Yeah.
So I can fucking starve myself for this week.
Yeah, and also like there is that obviously in the back of your head, like this is fat loss week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaning into again the knowing the plan, understanding the objective.
Yeah. And I guess when you start a diet, like taking the cycle out of it, like when you start the diet, you're the most excited, you're the most motivated, you're the most all of those things. So you're looking for positives too. Yeah. Because that's the other thing is just like, oh, I got up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, maybe you got up every day, you just didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah, and that's where the value is. How are we doing for time? We're good. That's where the value is in phasing fat loss. Like, I don't like those people that are like, I'm just losing weight. Mm-hmm. You really want to set a deadline, because that's where those, positive mindsets about like, I've got to push this week, I've got to give this everything I've got because it's finite.
Yeah.
Where if you're just one of those people where you're like, I just want to lose weight, like sometimes you don't lose weight. So what do you do then?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, is the reason that you didn't lose weight because you just know that it's another week, another week, another week. You can just keep pushing it out.
Yeah.
Where if you set a deadline, it's like, how would that change how you think, feel, and behave and approach everything?
Yeah.
So there you go.
It was a cool episode.
I feel like it was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel there was a lot of sound bites out of that one.
I had fun.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's a clip.
Yeah.
Damn, clip that. Clip that. Clip
Heaps
that.
of clips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we won't record next week so we can put out more reels.
I'll just put them on my own page. All right, guys. Perfect opportunity to hit the subscribe and follow button where you are. Keep your questions coming in. Let us know what you want to talk about. We're thinking about getting some guests in. So if you guys have somebody in the works that you would like us to reach out to, we're absolutely willing to entertain that. So, in the space of training, nutrition, personal performance, whatever it is. So let us know who you want those to be. Hit the subscribe button again, and we'll see you guys for another episode.